Welcome to the Scholarly Sources versus Popular Sources video tutorial. In this video, we will learn how to determine the difference between a scholarly and popular source and how we should use each type of source for research. Scholarly sources, also known as peer-reviewed sources, are constantly talked about in a college classroom. These sources are frequently required for research assignments. Why? Well, let's take a look at what scholarly sources are all about. Authors of scholarly sources are typically some kind of expert in that particular field. Some examples of scholarly authors are scientists, psychologists, nurses, historians, and faculty. These are the folks who dedicate their work to discovering new findings or to dissect new information. Authors of this nature usually devote their entire educational background to this field and acquired one or more degrees in that particular subject. The language and content of a scholarly article are specific and narrowly focused. The content usually is original research or original findings. The language tends to be denser and sometimes hard to comprehend due to overuse of jargon or technical terms. Intended audience for these articles are students, professors, and peers in the field due to the article's purpose of academic and research needs. Scholarly articles are meant to be consumed for educational and scientific purposes. The look of a scholarly article is not entertaining, and it is usually purely text with lengthy paragraphs. There is very little photography incorporated into the article and usually only accompanied by tables and charts. There are no advertisements weaved throughout the article design. Citations are always included, whether it be in the format of in-text citations, the end reference page or bibliography, or as footnotes. Before publication, these articles go through a lengthy editing process of being reviewed by peers in the field in order to validate the accuracy of the content. Here is an example of what a first page of a scholarly article looks like. No pictures and a lot of text. You can find the author's affiliated institutions listed right on the front page along with key identifiers of a scholarly source, an abstract, and sections with headings to describe what you are about to read. Books are usually published by research universities or publishing vendors, so they go through a rigorous editing and review process in order to provide the best information to you. Popular sources, also known as magazines, are a great source of entertainment and a more general place to obtain information. Some magazines are used for the sole purpose of entertainment, while others bring in news coverage of current issues or new discoveries. However, those articles are presented in a better comprehended format. Authors of popular articles are typically journals, generalists, bloggers, or staff writers. These folks may also have gone to school and have an educational background in their field or the topics they cover, but they could also have lived experiences that are just as valid and do their own research not tied to educational credentials. The language and content of popular articles are more broad and general overviews of current popular topics. The language is easier to read and accessible to wider audiences instead of being confined in the academic research world. This also means that these articles will reach a wider audience, the general public. The purpose of popular articles is to inform and entertain folks. The look of popular articles is more entertaining and does include lots of visuals and photography with eye-catching designs. A lot of these articles, whether they are online or in a physical magazine, are surrounded by a lot of advertisements. Citations usually are not found in popular articles, and authors use vague attributions to sources. For example, a psychology expert said, "This can be frustrating when the reader wants to learn more about a topic and they cannot read where the original author got their information from." Before publication, in-house editors review the articles, or, in some cases, the articles only go through a self-revision process. Here are some examples of a popular source. Key identifiers of these sources include pictures, a timestamp, shorter articles and paragraphs, and links and advertisements. Some unique and important benefits of popular sources are the background information they provide on a topic, the diverse perspectives and lived experiences that can be shared on these topics, easier access to the general public, and really more current information that is being reported on. Both scholarly and popular sources can have bias within their article content. Popular sources usually lean one way politically or only include a one-sided perspective on an issue. Scholarly sources exclude some voices due to the nature of academia. Not everyone can afford to attend universities to require the degree credential next to their name, and it excludes needed perspectives from certain fields. Each have their pros and cons, and it's helpful to become accustomed to research articles and know where our popular sources are obtaining their expert information. To recap of what we learned today, we learned how to determine the difference between a scholarly and popular source, and how we should use each type of source for our research. Thank you for watching, and please reach out to your SUNY Morrisville librarians for help with your research.